On March 22nd, hundreds of students, faculty, and community members took part in something that is not a common sight on Purdue's campus, a march.
We wanted to commemorate this historic march because it really made a difference not only in the suffrage campaign for women, but it inaugurated a whole century of targeting the national government with public action by marching in Washington, D.C. And so that march is historically important, but there were many anniversaries that we were celebrating in our march, which included the 50th anniversary of the 1963 March on Washington.
The idea originated from a group of Purdue sorority members that wanted to bring a part of America's national history to Purdue's campus.
We were part of the original planning process. I actually was talking to TJ, who's the director of Women's Studies, and telling her that my sorority was doing a reenactment of the suffrage movement, and she had this great idea and said, well, why don't we do the march here and commemorate all movements, including the civil rights movement and the women's suffrage movement, and then here we are.
Even though marching is not a normal sight on the West Lafayette campus, it does allow students to be heard in another way.
Our organization is really involved in activism and having a voice on campus and speaking for those that typically have less of a voice. So we are really into informing people about different issues in politics and things like that, and this is a big way to tell people what's going on.
Planning for the march began early this semester and excited many groups to march for a variety of causes.
With a few calls, open calls for people to come together, and specific invitations to student groups that I thought would in fact be interested, we quickly put together a coalition of 50 or 60 delegation leaders who then brought up to 10 times that number to the march. So although there were some logistics about where we were going to start and where we're going to end and where we're going to go, the organizing of it was almost spontaneous, actually. And the funds that we raised for it were also forthcoming.
Marching brings something unique to campus and awakes a trend that was popular many decades ago.
One thing that I think is really important to remember is that we don't organize to march. We march to organize. So this is not the end, it's the beginning of progress on campus.
Overall, the march showed something new to students on the campus and awoke a hidden voice.
We actually had not only the 400 or 500 students that participated in the march, but we had a lot of attention paid to the march as it was happening through campus, which of course is what we were hoping for. And I think that kind of attention and that kind of sort of galvanizing energy, what it really means is that there is now a feminist left, as I like to think of it, a feminist left on campus that recognizes each other and can see who it is that are leaders on campus, where their support's going to come from, where their collaboration and collegiality.
Reporting for Fast Track, I'm Lauren Hauserman.